In this video, I'll be creating some optimized images for my product listing so you have an example on how you could do yours as well. So to start with, I would highly recommend that you use square-shaped images. And that is because that's what it looks the best on both desktop and mobile. And what I usually do is a 2000 by 2000 pixel size so I can make sure that it's a high-quality image that customers can zoom into as well. So I'm going to start by searching through some photos that have something to do with bachelorette parties. Okay, so I like this one. First, because it's a group of friends, it's not just the bride, or you can clearly see that there is a bride, so bachelorette party. Also, it seems like you're out in a bar, at a bar, or maybe a restaurant, where some of these other photos, they might be at home or maybe a garden, and that goes really well with my product because the Bachelorette Scavenger Hunt has all of these different items from them to check off the list where they need to be at a bar, for example, taking a photo with a stranger, or singing and dancing on top of a table, or anything like that. So it's very important that whenever you're doing a lifestyle image, that you use a scenario that is going to be as similar as possible to how your customer is going to be utilizing the product or the main benefit of getting that product. So I'm going to be using this photo, and let me readjust the size here. I like it here, very centered. And what I'm going to do, let me move myself out of the way. And what I'm going to do is going to be adding some text here. So this is going to be kind of like an infographic. So let me look through some of these elements here. I think I'm going to use this. I really like the curve. Let me use white for now. Maybe I'll change that later. There you go. I like this. It gives a little bit more movement to the image. It's not just that white box. And then now I'm going to be adding my text. So text here. Then I could go through some of these text templates, but I'm just going to go ahead and add a heading. And as I said, I want to bring attention to the biggest benefit of them purchasing my product. So I need to put myself in the shoes of my customers. Why would they be interested in purchasing a Bachelorette Scavenger Hunt game? In my opinion, it's because they want to make sure their party is fun. They don't want to run the risk of everyone going to the bar and just looking at each other's faces. They want to make it interactive, and they want to remember this night forever. So I'm going to go ahead and write that. So I have make your party memorable. And now I'm going to choose some nice and fun fonts, and actually what I'm going to do is that I'm going to incorporate some of the design that I have on the product itself here with the design and fonts on the product images. So actually I'm going to get rid of this word for now, and I'm going to use some bold fonts here for this part of the phrase. So I do like this one, Anton, but you can also search through, as I've shown you guys before, different styles of fonts, but I know I already like this one for bold. And now I'm going to add a new text and write just memorable. And this is going to be in a different cursive font, just as I have on my product itself, to keep this brand consistency. Let's see, maybe this one. Let me make it bigger. So it's very easy to read, because usually cursive fonts are a little bit more difficult to read. So I'll make this bigger, and I'll make this a little bit smaller. Okay, and what I love about Canva as well is because when I choose a different color, they will suggest colors from the photos that you've used. So I'm going to go ahead and try this pink because it's a really nice accent color. So there's lots of things that I could do to improve it, but for the purposes of this video to make it more efficient, let's go ahead and create another image. Now I actually want to do a mock-up where I can put my digital design on an actual sheet of paper to show them that they can print, and I want it to have in a really nice setting. So I'm going to go to photos and then search for maybe invitation or holding paper or something like that. Let's start with invitation. Really nice. I like this one. I'm going to go ahead and drag. And what I've done is that I actually saved my design in a PNG format from Illustrator. I used Adobe Illustrator to create it, and I've already uploaded it here. So I'm going to go to Uploads. And what you can do is that you can simply just drag your image here, or you can click here on this button, Upload Media. So here it is. So I'm just going to click, and then Canva is going to bring here to this file. All right, now I'm just going to change the scale. All right, and the reason why I like to use images is because you get some of that realistic shadows and the whole composition makes sense. But what you can also do on Canva is they have different effects. So you could go here and go to effects, and something that always helps make something more realistic are shadows. So for this image, I already have the shadows, but you have the option to do that if you don't here on effects and then shadows. And then you can play with all of the different options. You can change the transparency and all that. So I'm happy with this image. Now the last one that I want to do is a mix of them. I want to show them that they can use this digital file on their phones, that they don't need to actually print in order to use it. So I'm going to be looking at photos for phones. So let me see. Phone. Okay, I love this one. Just going to stretch that. Then I'm going to add my file again. All right, and now I'm going to adjust the size. Okay, so I've resized it, but actually I'm looking at this photo and I like the setting a little bit more. So I'm just going to duplicate this. Let me get rid of that. And I'm going to try to use this image instead. I like it a lot more. It's a little bit more romantic. I like the pop of pink that I also have in my design. All right, can rotate and scale down. All right, the last photo that I want to create, at least for this tutorial with you guys, is going to be an instruction image. As I mentioned before, this can be very helpful specifically for downloadable products because some customers still have doubts on how it really works. So first, I kind of want a nice romantic background so it's not just completely white. So I can go here to background, and then maybe I might use this pattern here. I'm going to try it out. Maybe I'll switch it later. But now I'm going to bring my product image again. Okay, and what I'm going to do is add some of those shadows. I really like this one, the angle. And then here, you can edit the shadow. So click here. I'm going to make it a little bit more transparent, so it's more subtle. Yes, more subtle, and a little bit more blur. Perfect. Click apply. And what I'm going to do is actually, I just want part of my product showing, so they can really focus on the instructions. And now I'm going to be adding some text. First, I'll be using the same fonts throughout all the images, and I'll skip ahead to after I have written some of these instructions, so I don't waste your time. So first of all, I like this type of font better for the scripted font, so I went ahead and changed this top one as well so they would match. And then here are my instructions. Step 1, add to cart. Step 2, complete your purchase. Step 3, check your email for your download link. 4, print or use it on your device. And then I always like ending with a big benefit. So step 5, enjoy a night of fun and memorable experiences. So I'm really happy with my images. Right now I only have 4, but remember, you can do up to 10 images plus a video on your Etsy product listing. But in order to not make this video super long, we're just going to be using these 4 images for now. And then later on, I'll come back and create even more images. And that's it. The last step will be to just download your images, and you can do that here. I'll move myself out of the way. You just have to click download, and then you can choose your file type. Here, I like to stay with PNG because it's the highest quality, but you can choose another one. And then here you can select if you want to download just some of your images or all of them. I want to download all of them, and then you just have to click download, and then Canva is going to download for you. So I hope you found this helpful. I'll see you in the next video. So it's finally time to start optimizing our listings. So once you've logged in into your Etsy account, let's go to our shop manager. And then from here, click on the listings tab. Okay, so my listing right now is inactive, but if you just wanted to create a listing from scratch, you could just click here on add a listing, but I'm gonna go ahead and come to inactive and then click on the gear icon and select edit. So now we're going to start with our product images. And one thing I didn't mention before is that it's very important to actually optimize our listings names, because the keywords that you're going to be using when naming your file, as well as the metadata of that image, will actually help you ranking on Google as well, on Google Images. So that's just another way that people can find your product if they're searching for your product on Google. And even as an Etsy optimization strategy as well, it's important for you to rename your files. So we're going to go ahead and open. I've downloaded the images from Canva, but when you're creating your files as well from scratch, if you're using Photoshop, you can do the same. So one thing that I'm going to quickly do is just select all of them and then right click. And this is going to be different if you're using a MacBook or a PC. But if it's a Windows, you just have to go to properties and then you're going to be able to rename them. But here you go to rename, and I'm going to automatically rename all of them at once. So I'm going to use one of the most important keywords that are very specific to my product. So bachelorette, then dash, scavenger, dash, hunt, dash, game. And then I'm going to end with another dash and have the computer automatically differentiate them with different numbers at the end. So I'm going to click on rename. And then the next phase to optimize your listings for PCs, it's very easy. Once you're in properties, you can just copy this exact keyword and then paste to as many different fields as you can. You can easily find a tutorial on YouTube on how to do it if you're confused. Here I'm going to show you how to use our MacBooks. And that's by using the Photos app. What you can do is just drag all of the photos here and then select all of them. Right click and then click on get info. And then here just change the title and all of these different options to the keywords that you want. Caption, and for keywords you can actually add multiple. Okay, after you add some keywords, the location is not that as important, but I'm gonna go ahead and select United States just because that's where my audience is. Once you're ready, you can close this off, and I'm gonna move these to trash because they don't have the backend data, and select them, and I can drag these. And now these are named correctly, and they also have the keywords on the backend. All right, now we can go back to our Etsy listing. And I'm going to get rid of this old one. And to upload photos, you just have to click and then select. You can select all of them at once. Okay, now you can rearrange them to the order that you want them to appear. And notice that the first photo here is going to automatically be your thumbnail. So that's going to be the little photo, the little image that they see in Etsy search results. So you can adjust your thumbnail here. So what I'm going to do, and I actually went back to Canva to add this, I wanted to add this banner with the word instant download because I want the potential customers to see it right away, that as soon as they purchase a product, they can download it. So I went ahead and created this banner. So you can drag and then click save. All right, so now I rearranged the way that I want my images to show. And then moving on, here is where you would add a video, which I highly recommend. Any type of video, it's better to have some sort of video than nothing. And right now you can create videos from 5 to 15 seconds and with no sound. So this is where you would add your video. And now we're going to start optimizing all these different fields of our product. I have here open the spreadsheet that I have reorganized. I've added some more keywords to my master keyword list, and we're going to be using these keywords to optimize our listing. So for the title, you need to be very intentional about the first 30 to 50 characters on your title, because that's what's going to be readable in the search results. So as you can see, if we open an Etsy page here, you can see the first few characters of a title and then the ... To see it more, you have to hover over it or open the listing. So be very intentional about what you want the potential customers to read with the first few characters. In my opinion, it should be your most important keyword, the highest search keyword, but the most specific to your product. So for me, it's going to be Bachelorette Scavenger Hunt. But now I want to see what is the highest searched keyword term that starts with Bachelorette Scavenger Hunt. What should be my next word? So I'm going to go to my keyword list over here and I'm going to search. Okay, so Bachelorette Scavenger Hunt has the most search volume, and the next one's going to be Bachelorette Scavenger Hunt game. So I'm going to go back to my listing, I'm going to write game, and I already have the words instant download on my image, so I'm going to change it up and leave the word printable, because I really want them to see that they'll be able to download this right away and they can print it wherever they want. So I'm going to leave it as is, then I'm going to have a dash to kind of like separate the keyword phrases that I'm going to be using. Next, I'm going to go back to my keyword list, and I want to use a broader keyword that has a high search volume that also really applies to my product. So I'm not going to be using wedding yet. I've already used printable. The next one's going to be bachelorette party. Even though I've already used the word bachelorette, I have not used the word bachelorette party together. And as we talked about, the order where words appear or what's before or after changes your optimization as well. So I'm going to go back and write down bachelorette party. And then let's see the highest search volume keyword that starts with bachelorette party now. So bachelorette party games. That's a wonderful one, so I'll probably add games after that. And then we even have Bachelorette Party Games Instant Download. Definitely going to be using this long tail keyword because it includes Bachelorette Party Games, and this other one, Bachelorette Party Games Instant Download, that people are also searching for. So, okay, after I've used two very important keyword phrases, I want to give some more information about the product itself because, as we've seen before, when we open an Etsy listing, the biggest thing that jumps up to you are the images and then the title. So a lot of customers are going to be using just those two things to grab information about the product. So I'm going to go back to it, and now I'm going to use this slash to separate it again and keep it a little bit more organized. And now I'm going to say the size of the printable in case they do want to print on paper. So 8 inches by 10 inches, and I want to say the file format as well. It's going to be a PDF, so PDF. And now I want to remind them that they can use this file for printing or to use it on mobile. So a little bit of the use as well. And you could stop here if you do not want your title to get too long. I tend to prefer to use as many characters as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and add another keyword from my keyword list. So I think I'm going to combine wedding and hen party if it fits on my title. So let me see. Okay, 2 characters less, so I'm just going to get rid of the space and this dash. So the phrase became a little bit long, but still I was able to fit in that last keyword phrase. So I'm really happy about that. And then moving on, and as I mentioned before, Etsy wants to know as much as possible about the creation of your product. So they're going to be asking you who made the product. So in my case, it's going to be I did, if this is a finished product or a supplier tool, and then when it was made. If it's a made-to-order product, then you select this. For me, I just made it this year. And then you're going to select the category, which is extremely important. This is one of the biggest ways that Etsy is going to be able to pair your listing with people who are interested in that category, as well as with people who are searching for your specific product or your product category. So for me, I've already found the perfect category, so party games, but all you have to do is just search here for the category. Let's say you're selling t-shirts. So start typing t-shirts, and you can see all of the different options that Etsy gives it to you. So try to find the most similar to your case. So if it's going to be graphic tees with a special graphic design, or types of t-shirts as well, if they're going to be sweatshirts, and so on. So if you don't see your category, you can also add them manually. So you could come here and then try to find the best category that describes your product, and then keep going down. So for me, for example, it would be paper and party supplies, then paper or maybe party supplies, let's see. Yes, party favors and games. So you could keep going, or you could go ahead and save that. So for me, let me see another one, party games. That's it. This way, I'm going to be able to rank for paper and party supplies, party favors and games, and party games. So I'm going to go ahead and save. Awesome. And here are the attributes that we've already mentioned that are very important. So my primary color, I'm going to say it's pink because of the pink background. So someone might be interested in only pink options, and then I'm going to be one of the first results. The secondary color is going to be black because that's the color of the font that I've used. And here for occasion, you can either search or start typing. For me, I see it right away, bachelorette party. And if your product fits the secondary occasion, like a holiday, go ahead and look for it here. Mine does not fit for any of these, so it's better to not have it than to have something that is inaccurate. Okay, so for the renewal options, remember that you have to pay 20 cents per listing, so you can choose when you pay those 20 cents. If you want to automatically renew your listing as soon as you make one sale, then you just go ahead and choose automatically. Or if you want your listing to go out of stock every time, and then you manually renew it and pay the other 20 cents, you can do that as well. I definitely want to keep it automatically, so I'm going to leave that. And then obviously you're going to select your product type. For me, it's going to be digital. And here we're going to play with the description. And as I said, the Etsy description is wonderful because you can add so many different keywords. And here's what we're going to do. First of all, I think it's very important for you to repeat your most important keywords. And most likely you've already used them in your title. So it's totally fine to repeat them here. And once we use a keyword now, we're going to go back to our keyword list and start graying out some keywords that we've already used, just so we can make sure we use as many keywords as possible. So in order to not make this video very long, I'm going to go and write a description, and then I'm going to come back here. Okay, finished writing my description. And as you can see, I was able to gray out out several different keyword terms that I've used throughout my description, so I'm really happy about that. And I'm just going to quickly read it to you so you can get some ideas. So first, I decided to use some emojis, and this is totally up to you, but I think that it can really entice people to read. So I started with a question. Want a memorable bachelorette party? So in their heads, they're going, yes, I do. So don't leave it to chance and guarantee a night everyone will enjoy with this fun bachelorette scavenger hunt game. So I wanted to play on their fears as well as their desires in order to really make this phrase pop. So don't leave it to chance. So if you leave it to chance, maybe you're going to have a really lame party. But guarantee a night everyone will enjoy, which is what everyone wants, especially if you're looking for a game, because you're thinking about all of the guests. So guarantee a night everyone will enjoy. And then I added my very important keyword at the end, and then get your pink bachelorette party game digital download instantly, and choose if you want to print it or use it on your mobile devices. So I'm giving them more information as well as giving them the ideas and options on how they can use this product. And then the wedding season will not be complete without a girls' night out to celebrate the bachelorette. And this was mainly to start off this paragraph as well as put some more keywords from my keyword list. Our hand party games are funny and interactive, so all your friends are guaranteed to have a great time. So again, using some of those features to play with the benefit of the product. So funny and interactive, and then you're guaranteed to have a great time, which is what you're looking for. Next, your bachelorette game printable will come with pre-made challenges that are worth different points, and you can also add a bonus challenge and have a one-of-a-kind bridal shower, hand party, wedding shower, or bachelorette weekend. At the end of your event, count the points and see who is the winner. You can even offer prizes to spice up the game. So with this paragraph, I wanted to tell them how to use the product, so how the game really works, as well as the benefit that they're getting to having a bonus challenge that they can write down or come up with during the party, so they can have a one-of-a-kind event. And then I took the opportunity to put as many different possible events as it would fit within my phrase. And then I gave them more ideas. They could even add prizes and things like that. So I think this was really enticing. And then to end, I just mentioned again that it was a PDF file with instant download that they could use it right away. And at the very end, I would encourage you to do the same and have a call to action. So get your bachelorette scavenger hunt printable today and enjoy a night to remember. So have a call to action and also bring up the benefit again. So that's my description. And if we keep moving on, as I said before, if you have production partners, you can add them here. So it will just be a little bit more information. As you can see, if I started to add about their location, you can write a little bit about your partner if you have someone else creating these products for you and you're just reselling them. But in my case, I don't have a partner, so I'm going to exit out of this. And now for the section. So we're going to be talking about this soon when we're optimizing our shop, where we can create different categories or sections to create this menu of options so that customers can easily look through different types of products. Right now, I only have one product, but still, I'm going to go ahead and create a section to where once I start expanding my product line, I can easily add the new products to the new section. And as I said, the words that I choose to name my section is actually going to be part of my optimization. So I'm going to add a section here and choose bachelorette party. So save, and now this product is automatically linked to this section, bachelorette party. So I've used the keyword bachelorette party again, which is an important keyword, and I've organized my shop. I've started to organize my shop, and then later on when I'm creating a new listing, I can just come here, select this section, or add a new section. All right, now to the tags. Definitely make use of these tags, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy some of the tags that my top competitors were using to make sure that I rank for those keywords as well. So after using the top tags from my competitors, I have 4 tags left, and you can add up to 13. However, they have a maximum of 20 characters, so you can't go crazy on those long tail keywords. So a strategy that you can use when thinking about tags as well, you can see that Etsy recommends some things like color, style, the function, and you can also click here on get ideas for tags and try to answer some of these questions. Who is this for? What is the main color? What method or technique did you use to make it? Or size and all that. A lot of times people will be looking for this type of product by using the answers to these questions. So for me, I'm going to do like pink party game, and maybe a feature of this product, or maybe the fact that it's an instant download. So instant download. Let me see if I can add game. No, it's too many characters. So just instant download. Awesome. And then maybe party printable. And then one more to go. So maybe just fun party game. Awesome. And then here you can include some materials as well, especially if you're selling a physical product. And this is going to be showing up on your listing. So it's not a back-end keyword. So I'm actually going to put PDF file to remind people what to expect. And now for price, and I'm actually going to increase the price just by $1 because I'm going to be running a sale to actually launch this product and get that banner that Etsy gives you when you have a sale going on. So I've increased the price a little bit, but ultimately the customer is going to be paying less. And I'm just going to add 100. Since it's a digital file, I want my listing to renew as many times as possible without me having to come and actually add new quantity. But I want to start with 100, and if you wanted, you could add an SKU, which is specific seller code for you to identify your product, so that's really useful if you're selling a lot of different physical products. Next, you will click here if you were offering the option for people to personalize that product. And if you did, you could add here some instructions. If there's a character limit to whatever they're going to choose to personalize, make sure you change it here. So if it's just like 15 characters or anything like that, make sure to change it here. And then this is just a preview of what buyers would see. So put your bride's name here. So if my product was editable, I could write something like this here, and this is what customers would see. But this is not the case, so I'm going to turn this off. And I already have my file here uploaded. If I could add up to 5 files, so if I wanted to do that, I just had to click here. And now I'm going to save my listing. All right, I'm ready to publish, and once you hit that, yay, now my listing is active, and I can see it here, and there you go. I can see the thumbnail and how many I have in stock, quickly the price and everything. But I'm actually going to be creating a copy of this listing just as a draft so I can show you guys what it would look like if you were selling a physical product. So if you ever want to create a copy, maybe you want to start offering similar items, just go to your listings, and then on the gear icon here, you can select copy. Okay, so it would automatically copy everything, including the images and the title, everything. And then if I scroll down right here and I click on physical, let's see now the new options that show up after the inventory and pricing section. Okay, so first, there's the variations section. And that is if you offer, obviously, variations of the same product. So it could be different sizes, different colors, different package quantities. Maybe you want, if I was selling, for example, this game in packs of 20 or packs of 50 or packs of 5, then I could add variations here, and the customers will have those different options to choose from on their listing. So you could easily just click on add variations, and then you will choose a type. So kind of like the theme, it could be the color, the different fabric. Let's see, they don't have package quantity. So you could create new variation. I don't know if you guys can see. And then name it. Just click add, and then here you would name all of the different package quantities. And those would be the names that your customers are going to be able to see and select. So for example, a 5-pack, add 20-pack, add 50-pack, for example. And then you can offer different prices if you want. You have to select it here. Do you want the prices to vary for each package quantity? Yes, I want to charge different prices. You also can select different quantities. So in this case, it's a little bit confusing. So I just won't be selecting. Or do you want to have each package quantity to have a different SKU? Maybe you want a special code for each one so you can quickly know what people have bought and then package and get it ready to go. For me, I'm going to leave this for now, and then you can save and continue. And because I have selected different price for each one, then I can change the price here. So for example, for a 5-pack, it's going to be $4.99. 20-pack would be $7.99, and then 50-pack, $14.99. And obviously, reference your profit calculator and actually make sure you're going to be profitable, but that you're also giving your customers a good deal, because if it's just going to be a proportional price, they might just decide to buy, oh, I'm just going to buy the 5-pack now. If I need more, I'll buy it later. There's no incentive for them to actually buy more. All right, and then you could actually link photos to each one. So in your product images here, if you have different variation options, so if I have a photo of different package quantities, or in your case, if your variations are colors, then you can click here on this button and link each variation to the corresponding image. And you can always come back and edit your variation. And then the same section, personalization, you can add here. And now you have the shipping options. So for the shipping options, you can create different shipping templates, and you can see the options here. So first, you can decide if you're going to add a fixed price manually, or if you want Etsy to calculate the prices for you. So I would recommend that you choose the first one for Etsy to calculate the prices. Then you would put your origin zip code. So for example, for me in Cincinnati, then you would select the processing time and be very realistic. Even though the shorter the processing time, the higher the probability that you're going to get a sale, because customers might not want to wait that long. You need to be realistic, because if you start shipping orders really late, if you need more processing time, then you're going to start being penalized on your listings. So you can select it here, your processing time. For me, it's going to be just 1 business day. And then next, where you're going to make your product available. Is it only going to be in the United States or your own country, or is it going to be worldwide? So you can see here the options when you click on edit, all of the different places that you can offer your product. And if you do want to offer international shipping, don't worry thinking that you're going to have to pay these crazy prices for the shipping, because as you have selected, Etsy is actually going to calculate the shipping prices for you when the customers are making their purchases. So if you scroll down here, you're going to see all of the different options for shipping services. For me, I'm going to be leaving all of these selected. However, on the next section here, you'll see that you have the option to offer free shipping, which I would actually highly recommend, at least for domestic orders. But if you go ahead and you select this, make sure that you go back here and you can guarantee that you're going to be able to offer all of these services for the domestic shipping for free. If you can't guarantee, for example, the Priority Mail Express, then go ahead and unselect those options. So maybe it's just going to be the Priority Mail within 1 and 4 days. So you can unselect that if you want. And then here, if you want, you can charge your handling fee, and that's going to be added to the total sale price. So for example, if you're paying someone to actually pack the products and ship them for you, you can actually add this handling fee here. For me, I'm going to leave it at 0, and then you can save your shipping profile. You can name it, so let's say free US. So I remember that this is the shipping template that I'm including for free shipping. Then create profile, awesome. And then the last thing that you're going to do is actually input the item weight and dimensions, and try to be as accurate as possible, because this is where you're going to get estimated shipping prices. And then you can use that on your profit calculator to make sure that you're going to be profitable, especially if you're going to be offering free shipping for your product. So let's say that my item weight is going to be, 10 by 8 by 2 inches. And you can see here, you can start getting estimated prices So if I were to ship from Cincinnati, from this zip code right here to Chicago, I would have to pay $7.46. And then you can choose different areas of the United States or international, so you can kind of understand what your shipping costs to be. So for example, LA, the shipping price would be around $8.80. Or if I try Australia, the shipping price would be $28.26. And in this case, it's no big deal because Etsy is going to be charging the customer that, and they're going to be the ones calculating the price for them, but they're going to calculate based on the item weight and dimensions that you have provided. So again, be sure that those are accurate. And once you're done, you could preview your listing, you could save it as draft. So if you're not ready to launch this product yet, or if you don't want to pay the 20 cents yet, you could save it as draft. You can go ahead and publish your copy, or in my case, I'm going to cancel and lose everything that I worked on because I'm not going to be launching this product. But I hope you guys found this helpful. I'm super excited to see how you are going to be optimizing your listings. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get to the next video.
Welcome. In this video, we're going to be covering Etsy tags. So what are they? How to create Etsy tags, where they go, and ultimately best practices to help you get seen by significantly more shoppers, the maximum number of shoppers possible, and ultimately increase your sales. So first of all, what the heck are Etsy tags? So Etsy tags are basically keywords that you input on the back end of your Etsy listing that Etsy's algorithm reads and helps you with keyword ranking. So these are specifically designed to help you with keyword ranking. They're extremely important. Your Etsy title and your Etsy tags are the two most important elements of your Etsy listing to get seen on Etsy as well as also on Google. So very, very important to optimize these correctly. And the majority of Etsy sellers do two things that are terribly wrong that drastically reduce searchability, and we're going to make sure that you don't make those mistakes. But as long as you follow the right formula, this is actually very, very, very simple once you have your master keyword list that you use to optimize. Okay, so that's what Etsy tags are. As you can see and read from Etsy's own words, is that Etsy prefers you to have long tail tags. These are basically, you have 13 total tags that you can use. That's it, nothing more. You want to make sure number one, you use all 13 tags. And then number two is for each tag, you have a maximum of 20 characters, which isn't a lot of room, but you want to make sure you fill up as much of that room in general as possible. What most Etsy sellers do, the two things that they do wrong is number one, they don't use their tags at all or only use, they use less than 13. If you have the room, use it. It is only going to help you get searched, and it's so critical to maximize every single one of your tags. And then number two is that they only use one word per tag. You want to use 2 to 3 words per tag, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So that's what Etsy tags are. And if you go to edit a Etsy listing, so we're here in editing, scroll down on the page past the description, and then you'll see the tag section. It says optional. It is optional, but you need to do it. It's very, very important. And then here you can kind of enter in the tags that we're going to show you next. So to give you a real example, I'm actually going to give you a real example of a product that we're literally in the process of launching right now. So this is it's a bookkeeping tool for Etsy sellers. So kind of using this example that you can kind of see and really understand well. So here on the left, I kept it really simple, just to keep it as clean as possible. And this is the exact workflow that I use. I like to use Google Sheets. And basically, the first thing I do is put in my keyword list, copy and paste it into a Google Sheet. And then next to it, right next to it, I want to have my Etsy tags list, right? I want to have 13 tags, okay? So what we do is, here for this keyword list, so we have a keyword list here, okay? Here's all the keywords that we have. We want to try to fit as many unique keywords into our tags as possible. And I'm going to show you kind of how that works. But again, like I said, it's actually pretty simple because you don't have a ton to work with. You're just going to do the best with what you have, and following this formula lets you be very simple, but the best strategy possible. So first we have, so as you can see just from the keyword list, we have bookkeeping for Etsy, Etsy bookkeeping, accounting software for Etsy, Etsy expense tracker, Etsy sales tracker, Etsy seller Excel template, bookkeeping for Etsy sellers, Etsy accounting, and so on, right? And you can kind of read through if you like. As you see, some of them are very similar. So we have like Etsy bookkeeping and then bookkeeping Etsy, or bookkeeping for Etsy. Very similar. So our goal is not just, for example, what some sellers will do is they'll just go here, copy this, go over here, paste, boom, there's my tags, right? Those are just the tags I want to use. Doesn't work as well. That's okay, but there's a better strategy, so we're just going to go ahead and go with that. Here's what I recommend. So what we want to do is use as many unique words as possible. So we're going to go down this list and just kind of keep track. So first we have bookkeeping for Etsy. And what I'm going to do also is open up another tool here called lettercount.com. This simply tracks the number of characters to make sure that I'm staying under that 20 character limit. So for example, I'm going to copy this, bookkeeping for Etsy, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to paste. Perfect. So our first keyword here, bookkeeping for Etsy, that's within 20 characters. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste this over because it's one of our top keywords. So we want to make sure it's included and it's within 20 characters, so we're good. Sometimes if it was like, let's say it was bookkeeping tool for Etsy, that's 25 characters. So we have to kind of strategically reduce it down. So maybe I would do bookkeeping tool or then bookkeeping for Etsy. We do 2 separate tags, right, for that one word. And I'll show you in a second. So bookkeeping for Etsy, that's within, next we have Etsy bookkeeping. So bookkeeping, the word bookkeeping and Etsy are already in one of our tags. So I'm going to skip over that because again, we have so many keywords. We want to fit as many keywords as possible. If you have a shorter keyword list, if you only have a few keywords in your keyword list, let's say 13 keywords in your keyword list, then you could use potentially those 13 keywords for your tags. But we have so many keywords here, which is usually going to be the case, that we want to put as many unique in. Because if we don't have, for example, like Etsy, I'll just make this up, like Etsy accounting tool, right? We have Etsy bookkeeping tool for Etsy, bookkeeping for Etsy. It's all related to Etsy bookkeeping. Then when someone types in Etsy accounting or Etsy seller spreadsheet or Etsy Excel spreadsheet, we're maybe not going to show up. Even if we have it in our tags or in our title and description, that can kind of help. But again, we want to maximize as much as possible. We want all these keywords in our title, our tags, our description, right, or as many as possible, right, within reason. So we want unique. Okay, that's the key here, if that makes sense. If you have questions, let me know. But all right, so bookkeeping for Etsy, boom, we have that. So we already have bookkeeping Etsy in the tag. So Etsy bookkeeping, we're going to skip over that. Next, we have accounting software for Etsy. So I'm going to copy that, go over here to the letter count tool, And that's 28 characters. It needs to be 20 or less. So I need to cut this down a little bit. So where should I cut it down? So sometimes what I do is I'll just cut this down and use that as a tag, or I'll create 2 tags for one keyword, okay, to make sure that it's kind of represented through those 2 tags. So we have accounting software for Etsy. So let me try this. I would try Etsy accounting software. Count the character. See, that's still 24 characters, so it's still too long. So what I would do is something like what I have here, which is Etsy accounting, right? If you just type in Etsy accounting and hit enter, 15, so that's under 20. So I'm gonna do Etsy accounting, right? Because I can't fit all this in, I need to kind of narrow it down. And the most important 2 words are Etsy and accounting. If someone types in Etsy accounting into Etsy, I want to show up. My product is relevant to them, so I want to make sure that I appear. So that's why. So we have bookkeeping for Etsy, good. We're good to go there. Etsy accounting, we're good to go there. And again, this isn't a perfect formula. It's going to be a little bit of an art here. There's no like, hey, summer, what should I do in this case? It's going to be the best of your ability. But again, the key here is maximize these 20 characters, and each of them should be unique, right? That's it. It's actually very, very simple. And it can go really fast. So Etsy accounting. Okay, next we have Etsy expense tracker. In this case, let's just say that this wasn't as relevant for this product. That's what I deemed is someone typing Etsy expense tracker. Our product wasn't really more for expenses. It was for, not just expenses, it was more for overall accounting, bookkeeping, things like that. So anyway, I just deemed based on search results, this wasn't really relevant for us. So I kind of kept going down. Then we have Etsy sales tracker. So okay, Etsy sales tracker, I'm going to copy that. Paste it in here, 18 characters, perfect. I'm just going to copy and paste as is. So if you can, copy and paste as is, that's the best, because that's the actual keyword data that you have. You want that exact keyword. You're going to help rank over that than if it was kind of in a different order. So that's good. Keep going down. Etsy sell Excel. So this is an Excel spreadsheet, so we're going to ignore that, right? So that's why I'm kind of keep going down. Bookkeeping for Etsy sellers. We already have bookkeeping news, so we're going to keep going down. And we're going to keep going down, and we get down here to this keyword, which is GoDaddy bookkeeping for Etsy. So that's the one. We have accounting, we have sales tracker, seller template, and so on. But here we have GoDaddy bookkeeping. The keyword is GoDaddy. And you may be thinking, so this is also a reason I use this example for this video, is some people actually ask, well, hey, can we use competitors' terms in our tags? And the answer is yes, you can. And what's really great about this is, so certain keywords of your competitors' brand names, for example, there's one competitor that we have, and all of their traffic that we've seen to Etsy, because they don't have very good images, very good title, but they still sell a lot on Etsy. And it made me think, why is this seller doing so well on Etsy when they don't follow our criteria, they don't follow the tags, process, the title, all of that? And we realized they have a very large Instagram following, right? So they generate a lot of traffic from Instagram, and that's why they don't have as great of a title or whatever, because most of their sales are not coming from Etsy search, Google search, from Etsy ads, it's coming just from Instagram. So, okay, so we know that a lot of people are coming from Instagram, and then going to Etsy and typing in their brand keywords to find their product. And our product, we believe, is actually better than theirs, and actually at a better price point. So just kind of using common sense, we know, okay, people are coming off of Etsy, typing their brand words. We can't put their brand name in our description. We can't put it in our title, because that would actually be infringement, because you're basically lying saying that you're that brand, right? I can't put GoDaddy in my Etsy title, because I'm not GoDaddy. That'd be infringing. But you can put it in your tags, okay? So don't try to force this. If you see a competitor's keyword come up in your keyword list, that's a great potential opportunity to put that in there. You just have to think, if someone types in this brand keyword into Etsy, how likely are they to buy your product? In this case, we believe that they're very likely to buy the product if they have GoDaddy bookkeeping, because we believe we have a much better tool and way less expensive. So we went ahead and put that in here, right? And you'd be surprised if you think, oh, aren't people just typing this on Google? GoDaddy bookkeeping? No, there's actually a lot that type it on Etsy as well, right? So it's really powerful. So anyway, that's just a little side note about competitor or other brand words. If someone types, and what's great is a lot of sellers don't use those in their tags. So what'll happen is when someone types in GoDaddy bookkeeping, you might see GoDaddy products or whatever, or in this other case, you might see your brand competitor right up there, and then you see your listing right next to theirs, right? They'll still get more search volume because they have it in their title, in their description, other places, but you'll show up as number 2. So when someone types for your competitor, boom, you show up right next to them. That's really powerful, especially if they're a really big competitor. If they're just random competitors that you have that no one's searching for them, if all their sales are coming from Etsy search, like they don't have really strong Instagram, Facebook, look at their social media accounts. If they don't have strong social media, then their sales are probably coming from Etsy, right? Which is the majority of sellers are coming from Etsy. So in that case, it's like, okay, like I'm going to ignore them because people are searching for their brand. People don't even know their brand. But this other competitor, everyone's searching for their brand, so I'm going to include it there. So anyway, little side note about brands. Same thing here with Wave accounting for Etsy, right? Oh, and if we go here, GoDaddy bookkeeping Etsy. So if we command V to and command C to paste, we see that GoDaddy bookkeeping Etsy is too long. It's 24 characters, and it needs to be 20 or less. So the key here is GoDaddy bookkeeping, right? Not only GoDaddy bookkeeping for Etsy, because we know that people who are searching this on Etsy, if they just type in GoDaddy bookkeeping, they're looking for themselves, right? For Etsy sellers. So that's why we reduce it down to GoDaddy bookkeeping. Same thing with Wave accounting, right? If we keep scrolling down, we get down here to Etsy accounting tools. So we have. If we saw this up here, we had Etsy accounting software, Etsy accounting spreadsheet, but we haven't yet used the word tool, okay? So with spreadsheet, we have tracker, template, right? But we don't have the word tool yet, as you see here from all of this. So we want to make sure that that tool is in here, and we see that the word tool, if we go back down, where we go? There we go, Etsy sales, Etsy accounting tool. That the word tool is the first time it's shown up on our keyword list, it shows up next to Etsy accounting, right? So instead of like Etsy bookkeeping tool, Etsy accounting tool, Etsy seller tool, no, it needs to be Etsy accounting tool because the word tool first showed up on our list next to Etsy accounting, if that makes sense. And again, you can really overthink this. You don't need to. Keep it simple, right? I tend to overthink things because that's kind of actually where I feel my specialty is, and I have a huge passion for keyword research, keyword optimization. I could actually make this way more advanced, and just because it's more advanced, it actually means better. So don't second guess yourself. Just go with your first instincts. To keep things simple, so we're going to copy this, paste it over, see the characters. 21 characters. Etsy accounting tools is 21. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take off the word S. Because you should still get ranked for plural and singular with Etsy. So don't worry about having Etsy accounting tool, Etsy accounting tools, singular and plural. That's a waste of space. That's a huge waste of space. Just have one singular or plural. If the keyword from your list is in plural and you can fit it, use it. That's great. If it was like Etsy, or let's just say this was our keyword, was accounting tools. I would leave it as counting tools. I wouldn't put it in singular because there's enough characters. But because, in this case, there was not enough characters, I'm just taking off the L because that's the least valuable part that I can reduce that keeps the search line. So continuing through our list, we have bookkeeping for Etsy. We have GoDaddy bookkeeping. But we don't have anything with bookkeeping, and then either like spreadsheet or template, right? So we want to kind of have those combined. So we have Etsy bookkeeping template. Okay, we're going to paste over here. 25, so I need to reduce this down. So we already have Etsy bookkeeping, GoDaddy bookkeeping, so we already have that covered, but we don't have bookkeeping template. So bookkeeping with either the word template, spreadsheet, something like that, and we want to make sure we search for that, or show up in search. Getting rid of Etsy, that reduces it down to 20, perfect. So we have bookkeeping template, and we're almost done, as you can see with our keyword list, we keep going down. Next we have Etsy profit and loss. So Etsy profit and loss, spreadsheet, I already know that's going to be too long, but I'm going to go ahead and copy, paste that over, just to kind of see. 32, right? So we already have the word spreadsheet and template, all of that, but we don't have the word Etsy profit and loss. So let's get rid of spreadsheet, which is pretty long, and that brings us down exactly to 20, which is perfect. So we're going to use Etsy profit and loss for our tag to get as much in there. And last, pretty much, all we have left is Etsy sales tool, right? We have Etsy profit, Etsy accounting, Etsy bookkeeping, Etsy spreadsheet, Etsy template, right? But we don't have Etsy sales tool, okay? So what we're going to do is just copy this, paste over, 14, perfect, under 20, great. And in the end, all right, you want to make sure that you have 13. So as you can see here, exactly 13. Each of them is under 20 characters, but is as many characters as possible within that 20 characters given your keywords. Obviously, some are going to be shorter than others because you want to use those exact keywords. But if you can't use the full keyword, which is going to be probably most cases, you want to kind of cut it down a little bit and just take the essence of it. Either just cut it down for one of your tags or kind of have two different tags. So it could be, Etsy bookkeeping and then bookkeeping spreadsheet, right? So it's Etsy bookkeeping spreadsheet is the one keyword. You have Etsy bookkeeping and then bookkeeping spreadsheet, two tags from that one keyword, if that makes sense. So again, there is no kind of like perfect, there will always be dispute on kind of how to do this exactly. It depends on the product. But the key here is at the end, as many of these individual words that exist in our keyword list, there's a good amount of those individual words that exist in our Etsy tags. There's a huge kind of overlap between if we just look at the individual words. So the words Etsy is in our keyword list, it's in our tags. The word bookkeeping is in our keyword list, it's in our tags. Accounting in our keyword list, in our tags. Sales, the word tracker, the word template, the word spreadsheet, the word GoDaddy, Wave, profit, loss, tool, sales, all of those words that are in our keyword list, which is the majority of words, are also in our tags. So that's perfect, that's key. So once that's done, again, and it won't be perfect, there's always going to be more keywords that you wish you could shove in. It's not going to work out perfectly, but this is the best way to go about it, and this is going to absolutely maximize your results. So once you have this list created, go ahead and head over to your Etsy listing, scroll down, click on edit, scroll down to where you see tags, and go ahead and add, make sure it's up to 13, they're all within 20 characters, and you're good to go. And now your Etsy tag section is absolutely optimized. If you have existing products on Etsy, go ahead and do this now. It'll still take some time to get search results from this, but you absolutely should see your sale percentage from Etsy search go up drastically because so many Etsy sellers get this wrong. So this gives you a competitive advantage against all of your competitors. So I hope you found this valuable. Of course, if you have any questions, let us know in the comment section below. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get to the next video.